Yeah, yeah. Fresh out the cell with a plan and a boo. Ain't clip beeping, but my heart's beating for you. Let's go. Met her on a prison pen pal site. She said you cute even in that orange light. Now I'm home and I'm free, kinda on probation. She picked me up in a Prius, pure elation. Got a teardrop tat and a heart full of dreams. She brought cupcakes and some government cheese. I said, girl, you a snack, maybe even a feast. She said, you just hungry cause you live with the beast. Love after lockup, wild and free. Got no keys, but she got the key. From yard time to FaceTime, look at us glow. From prison phone calls to reality show. Love after lockup, we don't play. Tinder got nothing on JPay. I did my time, now I'm doing hers. Doing laundry and love, both in spurts.
Hello and welcome back to another episode of Love After Lockup Lockdown, where we are covering Season 2, Episode 42. As always, you can find us in our Facebook group and on Instagram at Love After Lockup Lockdown. I'm Jennifer.
And I'm Lisa.
And this week we're covering Season 2, Episode 42, Life After Lockup. And this is titled Wake Up Calls. Lisa, how are you?
I am doing good. How are you?
Fantastic.
I'm going to talk about followers real quick. On Apple, we now have 197, and on Spotify, we have 188. So clearly on Spotify, we're just waiting for Cheryl and Lacey to follow us. That's all that we need there.
That's it.
But yeah, but who are we missing on Apple? Let's think about this.
It's got to be Josh.
Yeah, definitely Josh. I think that Lacey's an Apple girl, so I'm sure we already have Lacey on Apple.
Don't forget Alex. I'm sure he listens religiously.
Yeah, but he's an Android guy. I think he's probably an Android guy, and I think he's probably a Spotify.
Well, then we'll move Lacey over to Apple, and we'll put Alex on Spotify.
Okay. Where do you think Glorietta stands?
I think Glorietta doesn't like us.
I think she doesn't listen to podcasts or know what the hell they are, honestly.
She probably thinks you have to pay to listen to podcasts.
Most people do, which is weird.
Well, this week we are starting with Lacey, John, and Shane. And Lacey and Shane are fighting, and she walks out.
We're basically starting this episode with the fight that we ended with on the last episode.
Mm-hmm.
So, but now she gets pissed. I feel like she's using this as an excuse to now go see Sean, because that's what she calls him. She's driving to Sean's house to go check on him. And the reason why is because his phone is still off and she's concerned. Now, she's concerned about a guy who she claimed that she hated, a couple weeks ago, a month ago, whatever.
This is a love-hate relationship. I bet you it hasn't been even weeks. I bet. I mean, the way that they make this sound is this is just a continuation of them moving into the house. So was this all done within days of each other? Like, is this the same day?
I don't know. And I don't know when they started this house buying process. I know that it at least takes 2 months to close on a house, even if you were to pay cash. I don't know where the marriage ended and then the house started. I have no idea. The timelines are so messed up. But I think that it's crazy that this woman just is looking for reasons to cheat on her partners always. It's crazy.
She's always got an excuse to do it. And she tells us that John has a bad history with drugs and a history of disappearing, but he always responds to her calls and messages, and that's why she's particularly concerned at this point.
When do you, though, cut this off? Because if this is a lifelong cycle of being in jail, using drugs, going off drugs, being out of jail, going back in jail, using drugs, when is the point where you just go, I've had enough of this. This is now affecting my life and making my life hell. Why does she keep going back to it too? Where is this fitting in with her life? And how is this benefiting her at all? Because it's just messing up her new marriage.
Well, she thrives on the chaos, I think, of it all. She enjoys the drama that this builds up, and she wants attention on her all the time. I mean, everything she does is look at me, look at me, look at me. And
One
how can she say
100%.
that John is good for her children when he disappears and he's a heroin addict who is in active addiction? Like, that's not somebody who is going to be good for your children, even if they're a great person.
Absolutely. Definitely not a situation to have your children in and to watch, because risk is high that if this is what your children see, they could then gravitate towards when they're old enough to start using drugs and possibly going down the wrong path. This is not what you want your kids around.
You don't want to normalize this behavior.
No, absolutely not. She tried, she failed, she chose another man. Move on. Stop going back to your old life. Stop.
But she chose a child. And I don't know if you've ever dated anybody significantly younger than you, but especially men, I think just don't they don't have that same maturity level as women do. And that's not broad strokes everybody. It's not saying every woman is more mature than every man, but I think overall that tends to be the case.
It 100% is. A man who's 21 versus a woman who's 21. Easily there's a 10-year difference of maturity. That woman's already in her 30s at 21 and the man is still 16. I absolutely get you. I have 2 sons. You have a son. It's just how it is. Um, I've never dated anyone much younger than me, never, but I mean, clearly I know that you're spitting the truth. So,
So she pulls up to his house and his truck isn't there. And she says that she's more concerned. I don't think if he was just sitting at his house, he wouldn't be answering you. Like, I think she knew not to expect him to just be hanging out at his house.
it's so weird. It's like, "Oh, I'm gonna drive there. I'm gonna just find him. I'm absolutely gonna find him if I just start driving towards him."
Yeah.
I don't know this woman's logic. I am hoping that the show made her do this. This is so illogical.
She doesn't seem much different now. Even like her behavior online and social media, she seems to not have changed much.
Why isn't she calling his parents?
Mm.
Why he works for them? Why are you not calling his family? If you're this concerned, so this man has no one in his life that you can't call and be like, "Hey, I'm really worried. Do you know where John is?" Never at any point does she do that.
Maybe they hate her for marrying somebody else. I don't know. That's a good question.
That
But
is highly probable.
she says that he was her first love and they will always care about each other. And I think that's an excuse, honestly. I just feel like oh, we have a history, so therefore I can never let go. People have histories all the time. Like, I have a history with my ex-husband. That doesn't mean I want to have anything to do with him or that I can't let him go. Bye-bye.
Exactly. I mean, I have a 10-year, 11-year history with my first husband and children with him, and then a 15-year with my second husband. But that doesn't mean I'm just going to be like, "Hey, buddy, I'm worried about you. What's happening?" Like, I
Right.
do that. She's looking for attention. This is attention. She knows that John will give her attention. She needs optimum attention on her at all times, or she's not happy. She doesn't thrive.
That's what it seems like. Speaking of attention, we jump over to Megan, Michael, and Sarah. And not that Sarah's seeking attention, but we know Michael and Megan seem to be needy in that department. But Sarah is meeting with an attorney, and she says Michael hasn't been to visit the kids since getting off of parole. So there's our answer we were talking about last time as to whether or not he's seen the baby more than once.
Hmm. This is a family court lawyer. This is not a divorce lawyer. And she is there because she wants to know her custodial rights. And I am like, what took you so long? What took you?
Mm-hmm.
It seems like this should have been a step she took before even the divorce, in my mind.
She says that they frequently try to contact him, but he never answers, which we did see.
Hmm. She also tells the lawyer that her kids have been with her their whole life. Absolutely 100% facts. We know this. And she's, like you said, she doesn't know how he just can't. Not only is he not seeing them, but he's not even calling them. He doesn't call them for 2 weeks, can't see them, can't pick up a phone. It takes a second to pick up the phone, man. And the lawyer is saying that, is there anything that you can tell me that would affect his ability to take care of the children? Like, is there any concerns you have about him? And of course, Sarah tells him, well, he's been in and out of prison and he's been bouncing around from state to state, all these women, and blah, blah, blah.
Right. Sarah says that he was a better dad when he was in prison, and she doesn't want him to pick the girls up and take them around all of these women that she doesn't know. And that's understandable. That you could be put into a really dangerous position. And even though Aviana is old enough to say what happened, Rain is not.
And by the time she says what happens, it can be too late.
Right.
Number one. And also, when he FaceTimes with the kids, he's with other women, which is weird because these girls don't know the baby. I mean, wouldn't have any idea, but his daughter, who's well aware of, her dad and mom, who her mom, dad and mom are like, oh, who's this random woman that my daddy's with, and he's FaceTiming me. I mean, that would be really confusing to a kid.
Yeah. She says that his income is coming from a variety of women. So as we learned last time, he's getting these cash apps in, and in 1 month he took in $1,200. But
Mhm.
they're essentially just paying him for his attention, his affection, and that kind of thing. So, I mean, isn't he kind of like prostituting himself in a way? I guess it's not sex, or maybe it is. We don't know.
It is. It's like kind of like male prostitution a little bit. Well, the lawyer starts talking about income and whether or not he's going to have to pay. So Sarah is in New York State. Okay. So the the lawyer says that in New York State, if the parent doesn't work, they can take about $25 from them
Per month.
uh,
Yeah.
per month. However, I live in New York State and I've been through this before. If you don't work, the judge will eventually put you in jail. If you then have a job and then you quit said job, then the judge will take away your license. There are a lot of things that this lawyer didn't say about New York State, which was confusing to me, and where I'm like, is this an actor? Because she's not telling the whole truth.
Well, I don't know that she was necessarily not telling the truth. They probably
Mhm.
cut out huge portions of their conversation and just stayed on the like quote unquote relevant points. But I bet there was a lot of information that was exchanged that they didn't include in it.
Yeah, New York State is very harsh on parents that don't pay child support. Very, very harsh. I can tell you that. So she was not telling everything. There's no way that in New York State, the judge for a family court is just going to be like, yeah, you don't work. I'm just going to require you to pay $25. Sir, you never have to have a job and you never have to support your children. And we're just going to let food stamps and welfare and the state basically take care of your children. Not a chance.
Mm-hmm. So Sarah asks the attorney if he could really just come pick the girls up and keep them for months. And the attorney's like, well, I mean, that's possible, but we can file an order to show cause, which is essentially just an emergency petition to the court to get temporary custody so that he can't take them away from her.
Again, shouldn't that have been her first concern? Uh,
But we don't know
why?
the time elapse here. They move things around. Like something could have happened 2 days after something, and they'll show it not happening till 3 months later. They love to play with the timeline.
Don't you think it's funny that he says that he married her because he thought that she would take his kids away from her or away from him? However, he has done absolutely nothing to show any interest in seeing the kids at all.
That's a bullshit line. I never believed it. Never believed it. It was an excuse.
Weird. Like, why did you marry her? What is the actual reason?
So she asks the attorney if that's something she can handle. And she's like, yep, I got you.
Mm-hmm. There's a commercial here, and we come back with the same story, which is strange. And Michael is sleeping at his hotel, and Megan comes in, and apparently Michael is sick, and she is bringing him soup.
Yeah, she said she's come to love on him because he's sick.
Blah.
So she tells him that he looks bad, and he says, thanks for the compliment.
Okay, I'm gonna go a little unhinged here. My thought is, why the hell is this dude sick? And I'm thinking to myself, and tell me if I'm wrong here. My brain went to the fact that this dude is basically having sexual intercourse, as we like to say, with many different women. And I'm like, is anyone at this point going, can this guy be giving me any sort of STD? And I don't know why my brain went there, but I'm like, why is this dude sick? But he's sick. And then he's just like, I can't eat the soup. And I'm thinking, is he like sick, or is he like vomiting sick? Because we do know that they were like out at the like line dancing bar with that, cowboy hat that didn't fit. So I'm thinking, is he sick because they were drinking a lot? Like, I don't know.
It's hard to say. But she says that it feels great to have him there and to be working on the relationship. I guess, how can you be so naive? Honestly, how can you be this naive?
I don't know. I don't know how someone can be so smart and so dumb at the same time. She says that her dad thinks that she should not be with Mike. Hello, all right, we know this. Now she does this thing that she should have done, I feel like, a long time ago. If she decides, hey, he's sleeping now, I'm going to go and I'm going to take his phone and I'm going to check his phone while he's sleeping.
Right, but she accidentally locks it. And then he asks for his phone. And she's like, oh, I needed to use it. And he's like, give me my phone back. I know you were trying to go through it. Oh, are you nervous, Michael? Are you feeling a little uncomfortable?
I've been in this spot before, and it sucks getting caught, right? But
See, I have never done this. I have gone and walked up and with the phone in my hand and go, unlock this. That because I wasn't gonna play any games. Unlock this right fucking now.
But it's like, yes, if they're nervous and they're freaking out and they don't want to unlock it, there's a reason.
Uh-huh.
I can hand my husband my phone right now confidently and
Yeah.
and unlock it and walk away. And if you have something to hide, you cannot do that.
Right.
Clearly.
So she tells him, she does eventually tell him to unlock it. And he's like, no, you should have just asked me to unlock it instead of trying to sneak into it. Buddy, you weren't going to unlock it. It didn't matter if she came to you and said, Michael, would you please unlock this? It was never happening.
No. And the bullshit that she needed to use it, she has her own phone. He's not dumb.
That was so stupid. But she asks him straight out if he's talking to other women, and he says no. And her going through his phone is a violation of his privacy, and it's sneaky. Coming from you, motherfucker?
All right. It is a violation of his privacy. Should we be going through people's phones? No. But if you have cause, anyone would do it, right?
I mean, it's not the worst thing in the world you can do.
It's not. Yeah. So someone knocks on the door, and of course, she barely opens the door and she says, "What the fuck?" So we then go to a commercial.
Yeah, he jumps up like, who the fuck is here? As if he didn't know who it was. And I thought for a minute he didn't know who it was.
Oh, he knew who it was.
Oh, yeah. Next up, Cheryl and Josh. And Cheryl is driving and she calls Josh and he asks her if she's packed up and heading his way. So they are back together.
This is so weird. Okay, so the kid sitting in the back seat, I'm guessing this is her youngest. He's got scratches all over his face. And Cheryl's holding the phone and she's got dirt under her nails. She looks even worse than usual. I'm like, what is like happening here? It was weird. It felt
Cheryl
weird.
is not okay, and we find out in this episode that she is not okay. I don't want to get too far ahead of
Yeah,
ourselves, but the decision that she makes is just so fucking Cheryl, and
she's not. Yeah, she's not okay. She's not a good person.
she says that they've been dating for 2 years, including the time that he was in prison.
Hmm. She hopes that they can make it the second time around. Why? I don't know. Why?
And she says that she expected to get married and have kids right away with him, but they got in a fight and broke up instead. However, he just keeps calling her. And eventually she was like, okay, we'll get back together. I don't think that's what happened, if we're being honest.
No. She was not going to not let him get back with her. This is not. It was Cheryl.
Somebody was making a lot of calls, but I don't think it was Josh.
It was Cheryl. What about the fucking kids you already have, dude? What about the kids you already have? The ones that you don't give a shit about.
I
She
cannot
says
with
that
her.
uh, so she's got Brandon in the car. This is her youngest. She says that she and Brandon are going to go out to Colorado to see Josh. Not the other two kids, just the
Not her
one
girls.
kid.
Yep, she's sending her girls to her parents. This is very Cheryl of her. Taking her girls, leaving them with her parents, and taking her one child. How does that make her daughters feel? Taking her one child with her and moving him to Colorado to be with some guy he doesn't know. Like, this whole
So
thing is
crazy.
fucked up. But she
So
tells
crazy.
yeah, she tells Josh that she doesn't want to stay at the hotel by herself this time. And he says that his mom is a whole lot cooler now. And she was like, "Well, what did you give her?" And he goes, "Money." I don't know if that's
Yeah.
true, but I wouldn't doubt it.
These two come from the most hillbilly families. I'm sorry. They just do. So Josh is staying with his mom and he's going to be off the ankle monitor soon, meaning he no longer is going to have to stay with mom and they want to get an apartment together.
She says she blames everything on his mom, Tina. And she says, "Why do our families hate us?" And he just says, "I don't know." What do you mean they hate you? Like, your families are both looking out for your best interests, so they despise you? Where did this come from?
I don't think they hate you, but I think they question where your brain is at and where your priorities are, for sure.
My favorite quote from this scene, though, is she says, "I don't remember Bonnie and Clyde ever having any real issues." And he goes, they had some issues. Like
They,
being gunned down in the fucking street.
I mean, they were, yeah, I mean, they were criminals. They had issues. They're dead.
Jeez. So Cheryl goes to see her sister Lacey, who believes that Cheryl is going to move to Michigan with her parents. But Cheryl says, "I've been hiding a secret from her." I am sure you have, because Lacey is not a fan of Josh.
No. She's not even a fan of Cheryl.
It seems that way sometimes. And she says that Lacey will be disappointed in her because she can't stand Josh. And Lacey is, in fact, disappointed and asks her, "Why are you choosing this?" And you have to be disappointed, not just that she's choosing Josh, not just that she's moving to Colorado, but also you are leaving your daughters to do this.
How do you have one child that, like, meaning Cheryl's parents, that's got a normal existence, a good job, a stable life, and then you have a Cheryl? How?
I think that, honestly, I think that Cheryl probably has some mental health problems that
Yes.
aren't being taken care of, if I had to guess.
Hands down.
That's my guess. Obviously, it's just speculation. And Cheryl says that she knows how it sounds, but she's not a complete idiot just because she's decided to date an inmate. Not just because you decided to date an inmate. There's more reasons.
There's many reasons why Cheryl is an idiot.
Lacey says she doesn't think they are going to work and she's going to go broke and get heartbroken. And I think that's true. Like, I mean, we know that they don't work out. They're not married now.
Do they get married, though? I don't think they actually get married.
I don't think so. And Cheryl gets upset, obviously, as she frequently does, and says that her and Josh's relationship isn't a joke just because it started in a prison cell. Lacey says it's stupid, and Cheryl says she knows it looks like a clusterfuck, but it isn't. Oh, yes, it is. Oh, yes, it is.
100% is.
And of course, Cheryl says she loves him and she'll do whatever it takes to make it work. Next up, Clint and Tracy are back, and Clint is driving, and he tells us that Tracy has been arrested again.
Clint looks like absolute shit. There is zero chance this man is not on drugs. The Clint we originally saw when we first started this whole saga with the Clinton Tracy thing, it's a different person. It's a different person. There's a bunch of talk going on about it in the Facebook group. Yes, Clint was a former drug addict, and it is highly probable he was using with Tracy because Tracy was a user. So
he looked very unkempt.
He had sores on his face. He was gaunt. His cheeks were all sunken in. He looked like he lost a lot of weight. He looked like absolute shit. So he says that Tracy has been arrested and that after they got married in Vegas, he thought that their future was so bright. And it's not been the case.
Definitely not been the case. And he says he wanted so much for the relationship to work, but at this point he feels like it's not going to.
And we all know that it isn't. So he says that that he's showing everyone in the scene, this is the last spot that I was able to see Tracy as a free woman. It's like a parking lot of I don't know, like a mini mall thing or something, just a plaza.
So they show her in jail, and she says, "This is me without the wig and the makeup." And they had put her in a protective vest thing, which I think is for suicide watch, but she says that she's currently using it because she's having an eating disorder. So I don't know if I think that she's refusing to eat, but I can't remember.
I'm not sure. We got a lot of answers about this vest on the Facebook group. And I guess because she's harming herself with the eating disorder, that also puts her at risk of harming herself in other ways, is what they say in jail. So they put them in that vest. They don't have any buttons. They don't have any zippers, nothing sharp. You can't hide anything in it. So they basically just put those two hand in hand. Whereas you're harming yourself as you're harming yourself across the board. You're at risk of harming yourself.
That makes sense.
So the hair thing, though, I was a little bit confused about the hair thing, and I didn't really get many answers on this. But I originally had thought that maybe she shaved her head, but she said, "Well, this is me without the wigs." So I'm wondering what happened to her hair. Was she pulling it out? Did she lose it from malnutrition? Is it from the drug use? I don't know.
I don't think if she was losing it from malnutrition, it would just be on the side of her head. She would lose hair from all over. She could have potentially been pulling it out, but it looked shaved. I mean, it was very uniform. There was no stragglers. So it looks like she just shaved it off.
Maybe she was, yeah, I don't know. Maybe it was just so thinning that she shaved part of it. I don't know.
I don't know. The producer asks her what happened, and she says they were in Texas visiting her parents and they decided to go to a Rangers game. But instead of getting a hotel room afterwards, they decided to sleep for a few hours in the parking lot. And that's when the police came.
hmm Yeah, the police knocked on the window, and the next thing they knew was that Clint was out of the door and the police were arresting him. On him, they found a weed pipe. And she said that there was no hiding what she had because she had more serious drug paraphernalia and drugs. So did Clint just get lucky?
Do you think she took all of the drugs in the car other than the weed? Like maybe he just forgot he had that on him and the drugs that they were both using, she took responsibility for?
I don't know, but I do know that I watch a lot of YouTube videos and a lot of arrests, a lot of body cam, and it depends on what is on either side of the car. So if whatever was in the car, if it was all on Tracy's side, say in the door, in her seat, near her, that is who's responsible for that. And then on the other hand, whatever Clint had on his side, no, he got lucky. All he had was that marijuana pipe in his a weed pipe in his pocket. She must have had all the bad shit on her side. That's all I can say.
So she says that this was a wake-up call because her and Clint had been arguing a lot because of the drugs she was doing, and he had been trying to make her stop.
I don't know. I feel like she's covering for him a lot. I don't know. She looks horrendous, by the way. Very, very sad. I know me and Clint have a lot of stuff going on. Again, they've been fighting, and what she's been doing, meaning drugs, it's just been like a wake up call. Like she needs to change.
So she says that she knows what's right and what's wrong. And the sheriff says that Tracy's being held on a $5,000 bond for possession of meth and says it's a horrific and evil drug.
Yeah, he said it takes people's souls, and that's very accurate. She says that everyone has regrets. These are pretty big regrets that she has.
So Clint was released from jail the next morning after he saw the judge. And his next step is just to go home.
Yeah, he's gonna tell his parents, and he needs to figure out how to get Tracy out of jail. I don't think that's gonna happen. I don't know where we're going after this point. She's on some pretty serious charges.
He does say that he told her if she ever went back, that it would be over between the two of them, but he still wants to be with her in every way that he can. Next up, Brittany and Marcelino. And Brittany asks if Marcelino's tired, and he says yes.
Can I just say that these episodes have been so depressing?
Not good updates.
It's so like when is the excitement coming? But yes. So she's talked to her mom, and they're her and her mom and her sisters are going to visit them soon. So this is an exciting time for her. She's been talking to her mom about her mom moving to Vegas so that she can help her out.
Her mom is currently living in North Dakota with her younger sister, Nicole, but she would like to move to Vegas to help her out with the kids since she's going to have the third baby now.
Mm-hmm. She's always open to having a working relationship with her mom, but she had a very rough childhood.
Oh, yeah.
So Marcelino says, he goes, I don't want you to be upset about all of this stuff. He goes, I want you to relax. I don't want you to put stress on the baby. And he's right, because we know of Brittany's past, and her parents and her childhood is a really sore subject for her and brings up a lot. And so that would be something that would be a concern, I guess, if I were Marcelino. See, I don't want her stressed out and worried.
She says her relationship with her mom isn't necessarily bad, but it's not healthy either. And there's a lot of things from her childhood that they've never spoken about.
Yeah.
And she said they both need closure on a lot of things, and hopefully that they'll be able to find that.
If you can have closure in any situation, you should. I feel like that's great. And if she's in a position where she can have her mom in her life, she can work through it, she can tell her this hurt me, that hurt me, and get closure, then you absolutely should do that. If you have the chance to do that, do that.
She brings up when she was a kid that her parents were both alcoholics and they stole a quarter collection that she was trying to get together. And I don't think, like, as far as things that have happened to her in her life, like, that's not by far the worst. But it's something that obviously hurt her and it stuck with her.
It did. And if it's something that stuck with her that much and that is what she's dwelling on, that is something that should be definitely addressed. It's very sad, actually, like that she was just this little girl collecting these quarters and she was so happy about them and so proud of them. And her parents stole them for alcohol. It's sad. But Marcelino did get her when he first picked her up from prison. He gave her a new book with the quarters in it, which is was really sweet.
He said that his mom did a great job raising him, and her mom coming to Vegas is sort of a double-edged sword.
You have to give people a chance to fix the past, though. You have to. If they're willing to, then you have to.
I
At least a
disagree. I don't
chance.
think that I
No.
don't think that everybody deserves the right to make up for the mistakes that they made. Some things are just too bad.
Yeah.
Next up, Lacey, John, and Shane. And Shane is with his friend, and they're going out for a drink.
Yeah, he thought that marrying Lacey was gonna be all smooth sailing. You married the wrong girl.
No kidding. He says that her talking to John is hurting their relationship. Well, yeah, I would say so, dude.
He has every right to be upset about this. Every right.
Absolutely.
The friend said, I don't know what the friend's name is. I just kept calling him the friend.
Yeah, I don't know
Um,
either.
I don't even know if they put it on there. The friend says that this situation is killing Shane. As much as a situation can kill a person that's 22 years old, it probably feels like the end of the world at 22 years old, right? Because things bothered you a lot more when you were young.
Well, probably. And Shane is not super great at maintaining his composure. His friend says that John being in their life is provoking him to make wrong decisions, and it absolutely is.
Hmm. And also that the situation is hard for someone who hasn't had a lot of life experience. Definitely
Right.
the truth. Definitely.
And his friend says there's going to be 1,001 bumps in the road. So don't get pissed off and aggressive if she ends up going to see John. But I feel like his friend
Yeah,
just is looking out for him at this point. It's not really like, it's not wrong if she goes to see John. He knows it's wrong. He's just trying to keep Shane chill.
I think so. It, he's trying to get him to not do anything to make him go back to prison or jail, I think.
Yes,
Shane's on probation, and anything that he does that is a little bit off, if he gets pulled over for speeding, all of that is a risk. Anything he does right now is a risk when he's on probation.
his friend says love makes you do some crazy things, and she obviously cared about John a whole lot. They have a deep connection, and it's not going to be easier for her to let him go. And he tells him, just bob and weave, man.
Yeah, he's like, do you think you made the right decision marrying Lacey? And he says 100%, and he loves her to death. Absolutely, I expect that to be his answer 100%. He just doesn't appreciate another man chasing his wife, and he shouldn't,
Well, and it's not just John chasing Lacey. Lacey's also chasing John.
right?
So he says he loves Lacey and wants to be with her. And his friend says, if you feel that way, then give her the benefit of the doubt. Not Lacey, though. Like maybe in relationships, yes, but not for Lacey.
No, no, this woman has not, she doesn't deserve that. This is not innocent. It is not as innocent as Lacey is making it out to be, because I feel after that argument, even if she wasn't concerned about John overdosing, she still, after that fight, would have ran to John's house.
Absolutely. So Shane says he doesn't appreciate John trying to chase after Lacey and he wants John completely out of their life. And his friend says, what would you do if she does go to see John? And Shane says he's going to wish he was locked up. I don't feel like that's going to be the case. The outcome of this is not what you think it's going to be.
No.
Next up, Andrea and Lamar, and they pull up to the house, and Lamar says, "Here we are, home sweet home." And she says, "Forever."
Of course she does. Yeah. Priscilla, who we know is his daughter, made a welcome home sign and they got him a coffee maker, which is cool. He must be a big coffee drinker, so that's good.
They made him a cake, and he says he's more of a pie man, which is kind of rude. Like, it's Lamar, but it's still a little bit rude.
Absolutely, but I think that this just fits with the whole dynamic these two have. It- Andrea says that she's happy that he's home and that they're a family again for now.
And she says this is the first time he's been off of parole since they started dating. Well, considered he had 18 years in prison, I would say that's pretty safe bet.
Uh-huh.
So she tells him that she loves him being there and that this is what she wants. And he says, "I know you do because I can see how excited you're getting at the airport with these people on the mission."
Yeah. And here's something that I have said in the past. Lamar tells her that what she feels is good and what is best is whatever has to do with predominantly white faces. I wholeheartedly agree with him, and you can see it. I don't know why, but I definitely agree with him. She thinks that anything that's good and wholesome and safe is wherever there's predominantly white people. And I don't know why.
Well, they get into that. He does say there wasn't a single black child in that entire group of missionaries, and she tells him to sit down because he's making her uncomfortable. With facts? Like, that's just a fact. What do you mean he's making you uncomfortable?
She's like, well, it's not my fault that the better programs for children are in white areas. That is not the truth, though.
Well, and that could be. Now, where they live, it absolutely could be true.
Where they live, but it's not always the case. And probably definitely not in LA. Definitely not. In Utah, maybe, because it is predominantly white. Lamar says that Utah is 1% black. Probably. Probably.
She says he can move now because he's off parole, and not wanting to move because there aren't black people is ridiculous. I understand what he's saying, though. It's not just that there aren't black people there. He's like, my culture isn't here. My people aren't here. Like, nothing I am familiar with is here. And you're asking me to, like, whitewash my life to be part of these people that I don't even agree with.
Hmm. And Tennyson talks to him in the kitchen, and being the voice of reason as a child, which is so strange that they have more ability to reason than their adult mother, he's like, well, you just want more diversity, he says to Lamar. And Andrea's like, I can hear you talking about me. And
She's
of course,
ridiculous. She tells Lamar that when it comes to wanting the best for her kids, race doesn't matter, and he can kiss her ass when it comes to that and her children.
Nyla says that she just wants them to stop fighting and celebrate like they were supposed to and just be a family.
Andrea says it's clear they can't have a conversation without getting into it, and says, how can they be at such a high and then go so low? And it makes her believe that things might not work out between them. This is a little disagreement. Like, you're making this into something so much bigger. Everything doesn't have to be the end of the relationship. It's a disagreement.
Mm-hmm.
Back to Cheryl and Josh for a moment, and Cheryl shows up with one of her kids to her clown friend's house and tells him that she's moving with her son to be with Josh, but her parents are taking her daughters and moving back to Michigan.
And the clown friend comes to the door after he was done making his balloon animals, and he is in full clown regalia, because isn't that what happens when you just show up to your clown friend's house? He just happens to be in all of this makeup.
Well, if you're best friends with John Wayne Gacy, then I guess it does happen.
I guess so. And I was watching this with my husband, and he says, "Is that her dad?" And I'm like, "Oh, what?" And then he goes, Thank God you don't have clowns as friends.
I don't
Well,
think
I was
most
just
people do.
I was cracking up. This is so crazy, but it just so fits this woman. It fits her. Why wouldn't she have a friend that's a clown?
Her friend says she's leaving everything behind to see if it works with him, and that's got to be scary. And he asks her if she prays a lot, and she says no. And he goes, well, you better start. I don't think that's going to help
Uh-huh.
you, buddy.
It's not, but I mean, she could try.
Give it a shot. Back to Brittany and Marcelino, and they're on their way to pick up her mom and younger sister from the airport.
Hmm. I think that those were all her sisters. I'm pretty sure.
All what sisters?
There was multiple sisters there.
She just said her mom and her sister Nicole were coming.
Oh, I don't know. They looked like her. I don't know. There was like more than one woman, unless the other ones lived there already. I don't know. But she says that her parents lived for partying and didn't worry about their children much. And this is obviously very different from the way that Brittany now lives her life.
She did say that she's happy her mom is there, but she can't forget how absent she was while she was growing up.
Hmm. Marcelino is grilling food for the family party. She was telling us that her mom recently had an accident and that in Alaska, she was house sitting at a cabin and that it had a gas leak and exploded and burned 80% of her body, which is absolutely terrifying.
That's a terrible injury. And she looks
Mm,
good considering she had 80% of her body burnt.
yeah.
She says her mom is currently sober and she thinks it would be good for her to be around the family.
Yeah. Around people that love and care for her, and that there is an apartment down the street from her. If that they lease it, they can literally just then like live down the street, which I guess they're going to do maybe temporarily or something.
Her mom says it's so great that they're all together, and she asks Gio if he wants a sister or a brother.
I forgot the reasoning that Brittany said that Gio said he wanted a brother and not a sister.
Because his sister would get jealous if he had another sister who he played with.
Okay, yeah. Mom said, "Well, it's been nice that the two of you have been able to stay at home with the kids." And did you see the look on Brittany's face when she said that?
No.
Yeah, it was like she wanted to tell her what's been going on with like Marcelino and the job thing, but she was like not not ready to start that conversation.
He says one lesson he's learning is being present every day is part of the job. You can say a lot of things about Marcelino, but at least by how the show depicted him, he is a really, really good father. And from everything I've seen since the show, he is a really good father.
Yeah, the kids are constantly on his socials with him. He's very much about his kids. I mean, the kids are in like 90% of everything that he posts. So he's definitely very heavily involved with his children, even though that they're Brittany and he are broken up at this point. So Brittany said that when she was young, she was always in a house full of people, and yet she felt so alone, and that she said that maybe if that hadn't been her life, she wouldn't have ran away at 12, gone to prison, never gone to high school.
She has a really sad story, and I ever since I heard it for the first time, I have never been able to forget it because it's so upsetting. As
Hmm.
you said, she ran away at 12 because she didn't think anybody would even notice that she was gone. And they had just moved from Alaska, so they were living in a hotel. But 3 days after she left, she got scared and she went back to the hotel and they moved. They just left her there and from all accounts didn't really ever look for her.
It's so weird that they just didn't give a shit about what actually like happened to their daughter. Like, where's our daughter? Like, nothing. It's
She's
so crazy.
12.
Yes,
12 years
12.
old.
12. That's actually child abuse. It's it's child neglect and child abuse. I don't know why they didn't go to jail for this, honestly. I mean, 12 years old, you are not you shouldn't be off by yourself running away. Why didn't they call the police? Why didn't they have anyone look for her? She didn't say that her parents looked for her at all, or
No.
wherever, like, where is she? Where'd Brittany go? Thing.
She tells her mom that she wants her to be an active grandma and she wants her kids to be around her. And her mom's like, well, yeah, that's why I'm here.
Mm-hmm.
But I feel like she's more
Yeah.
saying to her, like, don't do the same things to my children that you did to me.
Mm-hmm. I think essentially she's like giving her a chance to like maybe make something up to her. Like, here, you weren't there for me, but now maybe you can be there for my kids and be what you should have been for me. I don't know. It did look like one of her sisters, I think it's the other ones were a sister, but I'm not sure. But the younger one that was there, she looked pretty young, right?
I
The
wasn't
little
paying attention.
I think she was young, but I don't know.
So her mom excuses herself from the table and tells us that that was a whole lot to take in at once. And maybe she wasn't the best mom, but she tried. I can't sit here and let her just go on with the rest of this. You didn't try. You did not try if you left your 12-year-old daughter and just took off. But her mom says it hurts her heart to hear Brittany cry. And if she could go back and change everything, she would.
Yeah, she definitely didn't try. Uh, No, I'm not. I agree with you. I didn't care for that because she definitely didn't try.
She's facing up to the consequences of her own actions, and she doesn't like it.
Yeah.
Next, Lacey, John, and Shane. And Lacey's sitting in her car trying to figure out where John might be. And she says, something isn't right.
Hmm. She's worried because drugs is the way that John deals with depression. And so she decides to call the jail to see if he's there before she calls a hospital.
Well, let's think about this, though.
Guess I don't know. But if you think someone's going to overdose or kill themselves, why would you call a jail first?
Because that's where he consistently ends up.
I
He's always
guess.
ending up in jail, not the hospital. I would call the jail first, too. So she finds out that he has indeed been arrested, and she asks what his charges are and if he has a bond. She finds out there's no bond, and he's being charged with a DWI, possession, and drug abuse instruments. So that's a pretty big crime, especially when you're on probation or parole. I'm not sure which one he's on.
Yeah, that's big. She's crying. She says that she has love for John and that she wanted to talk to him after how Shane talked to her. No, what you wanted to do is you wanted to go cheat on Shane with John.
Yeah,
I
that's why
feel
she's upset. She says that he took himself out of the picture completely. That's just because you think he's going to stay in jail. If he gets out, he's back in the picture.
exactly. I think that you hit the nail on the head right there. She just thinks that okay, he's gone again now forever, and so now, well, I guess I just got to go back to Shane, right?
Yep.
Like what?
She says he's gone and he's going to be gone for a really long time. You don't know that, but probably.
No.
And we wrap this week up with Megan, Michael, and Sarah. And Megan and Michael answer the door, and it's his friend Rock. And she's like, you weren't going to tell me that your friend was coming? And he said, I did tell you I was going to talk to him. She said, why didn't you tell me he was coming today?
So apparently Michael set this up so that he could clear the air between the two, like put the whole elephant in the room and just be like, what happened between you two for real? I guess. It's so weird.
I don't think he knew she was going to be there. I think that production probably set it up, but I don't think he's
Yeah.
smart enough to set it up between the two of them.
Because he didn't know that Megan was going to be there, right? Because she just decided that she was going to show up with this damn soup and make him feel better. And then just Rock suddenly happens to show up at the same moment when they're fighting over the phone and she brought him the damn soup.
Yeah. She said she met Rock when she was in a bad place and she just kissed him. She wonders if he's trying to set her up or catch her in something, but she says she's been 100% honest from the beginning and has nothing to hide. Oh, really?
But meanwhile, Michael is with a bunch of other women.
Mm-hmm.
So why is he even concerned with this? Also, he's married.
Right.
Hello.
And as a 4-month-old baby, there's so many things that give Michael no right to talk like this.
No right at all. So they walk outside to talk, he and Brock, and he's like, we grew up together, we're supposed to be bros. We slept at each other's houses and played together, blah, blah, blah.
He tells Rock that he shouldn't talk and it's time for him to listen. He says he was locked up and they've known each other for 10 years, and there should have been no reason for him to push up on Megan.
But then Rock says, like, what we're all thinking is you act as if you don't have a bunch of other women. And Rock is like, look, I'm no saint, but at least I know a good woman. And he's talking about Megan.
Right. And Michael's response is, well, that makes what you did okay? No, but that's not what we're, you have to take responsibility for yourself too.
All right, I get that your best friend shouldn't do this shit to you. Absolutely, he's right about that. That part he is right about. This is a big betrayal here. Your best friend shouldn't be hitting on your mistress.
Rock says, tell me you actually do love her. And he says, I do love her. And Rock says, how do you figure? He says, you can't love someone and hurt them like this.
Michael says that you can love somebody and still hurt them. Yeah, I guess. Maybe. So he says that Megan kissing Rock was sneaky, as is every single minute of your life, Michael. Every single minute.
He's ridiculous. He asks Rock if he cares about Megan, and Rock says yes. And then if I am not mistaken, Rock tells him that they had sex. There was no kissing, and Megan, when I was 100% honest. No, you were not.
Yeah, and why would Rock make this up? Why would he make it worse? He didn't make that up. There's no way he would just lie and make it worse.
It doesn't even make sense.
Yeah, no, definitely not. It's true. So then he's like, well, go get her. She's in the room. And he's like, well, I've already got her. And then Michael just hits Rock.
Yeah, shoves his face really hard.
Yeah.
Who is your VIP this week?
It was hard. I'm going to tell you, because there was really no VIP. I'm just going to say Cheryl's clown friend for his balloon animal skills, because they zoomed in on that shit.
I went with Marcelino just for being supportive. I think that he knows that there's a lot of risk with this, but he's trying really hard to be supportive.
Mm-hmm.
And your POS?
Michael, because he's just so fucking awful. He just continues to be more awful.
Yeah, Michael's mine too. He is so slimy. So that's about it for this week's episode. If you enjoyed the podcast, head over to Apple or Spotify to rate and review. If you'd like to continue the conversation, join our group on Facebook at Love After Lockup, Locked Down. Listen every Wednesday wherever you find your podcasts, and keep those notifications on to be the first to catch bonus episodes.
And in the meantime, don't fall in love.
And don't get locked up.
First date at Walmart, keeping it low. Told the clerk, don't judge me, I'm on parole. I brought roses, okay, 1 rose from a gas station. She said, oh babe, now that's validation. We be vibing in a halfway suite. Microwave dinners, romance elite. She my ride or die, she brought me a phone. Even snuck it in once, pre-release song. She hold me down like a key-o with charm. Except she don't mace me or twist my arm. We write vows in Sharpie on my court docs. Judge said no contact, but we beat the clocks. Love after lockup, cuffed and proud. Matching jumpsuits, now we rockin' the crowd. She said, don't mess up, I said, bet. Now we're TikTok stars with no regrets. So here's the love and second chance thrill. From a concrete bed to Netflix and chill. They said, don't catch feelings, but I caught a case of butterflies. butterflies, girl, not just in one place. Ankle monitor beep. Oops, curfew gotta bounce.